it's Vervain. Long time no see because I have a baby now, and I know that I was doing some junk journaling and some videoing and things when I first had a baby, but then she was napping a lot, and she would nap not while I was holding her, and now she will only nap on me, and she only takes 2 naps a day, and then when she's awake, she is becoming extremely powerful and requires constant supervision. So motherhood is very much, I would say, a full-time job now, except that in reality it's like 2 or 3 full-time jobs at least. And she is almost a year old now, and boy, I'm like looking through this as I'm looking for a spot to work, and I really have not done much in here in the last year. I was actually cleaning up my desk area, and before I sat down to work, I just kind of had like the vague idea that I wanted to junk journal tonight. I had no plan. And I found this, it was like a bag with a cardboard backing that her like silicone plate had come in, and this "you're doing a great job" text was like on the cardboard backing that was in that bag. And I'd kept the bag because I was like, oh, this would be like a good project bag to like, or like a good place to store like certain like paper cutouts or whatever. I don't know, it was like a good bag. And so I'd kept it, and I just hadn't ever taken the cardboard out. And I went to take it out to like throw it away so I could just have the bag. And I saw that big "you're doing a great job." And I was like, I needed to hear that right now. I needed to hear that right now. And I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to put it in my journal. So I found the spot that I wanted to work on, which is this page that's, it's one of these botanical dyed pages on the left, and then we've got a vellum page on the right. The page on the left, it's like a boiled book style, if you've ever heard of that. I didn't actually boil it. I think I had like tea in a spray bottle and a bunch of foliage I'd gathered from the yard, and I did not film it when I did that. And I did that when I lived at Cottonwood Cottage, and that was, I guess, about 2 years ago now. Maybe even a little more. It might have been 3 summers ago. My God, how the time do fly. And yeah, I kept thinking like, oh, I want to do more of that soon. I want to do more of that soon, and I'll film it when I do it again. And now I'm almost out of those papers. So I felt like I made like a near infinite supply of those beautiful papers, but I use them all the time because I absolutely adore them. And now I might have like a couple left, but I'm pretty much out. I'm certainly out of all like the really cool, impressive ones, which I would not necessarily consider this one here to be. I can't really see in the video, and I can't really remember in person. I think this might be one of the rose petal dyed ones. It probably is, knowing me. So yeah, I think those pink splotches are from rose petals. And then behind the vellum here on the right side, the next page is like from a book of, like it's like an instructional book for botanical watercolors. And then these 2 little black and white like lady faces. These were from like, I have this book of like, it's like a Dover book of female like illustrations of women throughout the ages or whatever. And they're all like engravings, and they're all so beautiful, but they're of course printed double-sided. So I had cut out whatever was on the other side of those to use in something else. And then I had those little scraps left, and I was like, these are enough to be worth keeping. So they were in my scrap basket, and you probably saw me pull a lot of stuff out of my scrap basket, including this little leaf thing here. And I guess the lady on the top left, I felt like I kind of identified with her being like only half there, because I feel like you do, as much as I promised myself that I wasn't going to lose myself in motherhood, and I don't think I fully I think I've held on to myself and my creative energy and my passions and stuff, like, literally as much as possible, while still giving my baby everything that she needs. And holding on to myself and my passions and my creative energy as much as possible still looks like not holding on to all that much of it. I mean, like, I'm still passionate about the same things, you know, but it's just like, where does the time go? And then it's like, you know, you kind of want to be like, oh man, I need to get away from this baby so that I can do these creative things that are tugging at my soul. But then you get away from the baby for like 30 minutes and you're like, where's my baby? I need to go see my baby. And then sometimes I'll be like, Sean, it's her dad, like, please, also my husband, please hang out with the baby so that I can have like 30 minutes of time to myself, right? And he's like thrilled to hang out with her. But then wherever I am, they'll be like walking through the room, and as they pass by, I'm like, my baby, let me hold my sweet baby. Let me see my sweet baby. I must hold her. I must give her lots of kisses. So it's just like, you know, it's actually like physically, literally, strategically difficult to get away from the baby. But then also, when you do, it's emotionally difficult and you just want to go back. So I guess like the biggest thing, like, I've picked up a lot of crochet lately. Right after saying I had no interest in learning how to crochet, like, literally I said that to my husband, and then like 3 days later he found me with a crochet hook, making a shawl, making my little baby a dress. And that's a discussion for another vlog, which I think I will make. Boy, if like getting time away to like make art and craft and play music and stuff is hard, it's nothing compared to getting time away to do all of that and film it in natural light and like film myself talking about it in natural light. Right now, it's 11:30 at night and the baby is, thank goodness, asleep, and hopefully she will stay asleep. And I was able to do this in the Imaginarium because I have this fantastic like studio light that my husband set up for me that's just like insanely offensively bright. But it's, you know, it's really great to work by and it's fine to film by. It's great for this sort of thing. So I'm able to do like this in the middle of the night, which is nice. But I feel like a more like vlog style thing, you know, I want to actually like talk to you guys. Okay, I'm just like talking, but that's what this is for, right? So yeah, so I'm gardening again, which is where those seed packets are from. Most of those seed packets still have seeds in them, which is why I didn't end up using them. And then those like taro-ish seed packets are just so cool. They need to be the star of whatever they are part of. So I didn't want to like cut them up for this or whatever. It didn't work. Anyhow, the zinnia seed pouch was empty. I think my zinnias have sprouted, but they've been about the same height for the last couple weeks, and it's been raining like crazy. So I don't know what that means. Last year I was good and I planted my zinnia seeds a little earlier. I don't remember when they came up though, and I could find out by like going back through my camera roll probably and like checking like when do I first start to see zinnias, but I feel like I had them by now. But you know, it's all such a blur because like I said, we're getting to the point where baby girl is almost a year old. She climbed her first stair today and I nearly lost my mind because it's like the second you think you're safe, the second you're like, okay, well, if I have this tub here, she can't get past that. And then if I have that door closed, she can't get there. And then there's those 3 stairs there and she can't get up those. So she's in this contained area. False, not true. Okay, so here we are on this journal page and I was really starting to be like, where is this going? And then I was like, all right, let's try some stamps. And I'm so glad I did, because I feel like from here, it all started. Like, I was decently confident about the decisions that I was making before this. And by decently confident, I mean that, like, the beautiful thing about junk journaling, and this is, like, why I set out to do this tonight, too, is that, like, you know, when you start out to do, like, a crochet project, you have a goal in mind. There's, like, a specific thing that you're trying to create. And if it doesn't go according to plan, I guess you could live with it just being, like, fucked up. But, like, ideally, you, like, go back and you pull it out and you start over from where you messed up, or which could be the beginning. And, you know, I've been doing that a couple times lately. But the beauty of junk journaling is that, like, every canvas is just a page, and everything you're working with is just stuff. It's just some cool papers and some trash papers and whatever other supplies you have on hand. And, like, the worst thing that can happen is you glue some things down and then you're like, I don't like that. And then you glue some stuff over it, or you paint over it, or whatever, you know? And so when I sit down to junk journal, like, I don't have to be like, okay, I think I want to create a composition like so, and it's got to be, like, about such and such, and I want it to communicate XYZ. Like, it doesn't have to be any of that. I just sit down with my journal and I'm like, I want to glue paper together in ways that please me. And I will do it for fun. And if it turns out pretty, even better. And so, you know, as I started, like, gluing down these pieces, I'm like, is this good? Are these good decisions that I'm making? I don't know. I don't particularly care. What's the worst consequence of gluing something on this page a way that I don't like? And it felt, like, really sparse for a long time. And then when I started to do these stamps, I was like, I see it coming together. And now, like, knowing what it looks like at the end, like, I'm so happy with how this came out. And, you know, this whole, like, you're doing a great job, it's really nice to hear that from, as a mother. Like, even hearing it from a piece of cardboard is nice. It's very good to hear that. And, you know, mothering and gardening have a lot in common. Really, like, I took up gardening when I moved to this house, to Climbing Rose Cottage, partially because it was the first house we'd ever owned, and you know, we own this land, and I feel like, you know, whenever we rented, I always wanted to start a garden, but then it also always felt just like, well, we're not going to be here forever, and, like, anything we put here isn't really ours. And so while this isn't exactly true, because, like, I could have gardened there and, you know, taken transplants with me, or I could have gardened there and considered it really valuable practice for the future. Or, you know, I could have gotten a lot out of gardening in other places, but I never could quite bring myself to. I guess I did, like, a little bit at one point a long time ago. But when we moved to Climbing Rose Cottage, I was like, this is our land. This is our home. And, you know, maybe it's not our forever home. I don't know. As far as I know, it's our forever home for a good long time. We won't be here for a while. And I'm going to garden. And I'm going to garden because I want this place to be nice. But I'm also going to garden because I want practice caring for other living things before this baby arrives. And so I feel like this journal spread, I feel like the gardening, the mothering, the crafting, the creating, all these things go together, and all these things are like metaphors for each other. And I talked about, like, identifying with the top left lady because, you know, feeling like not all here necessarily. But I also identify with this other lady here because She looks like she's resting and relaxing. Well, I don't know that it's fair to say that I identify with that, but I am attracted to that idea, to the idea of resting and relaxing. I believe it'll happen again someday. There's so many butterflies out right now. I've been getting into wildlife photography, not like, I don't know. I feel like when I say I've been getting into wildlife photography, like that makes it sound so serious. It's not so serious. It's like I go out into my yard with my camera and I use my zoom to try and photograph birds and butterflies and sometimes the occasional bunny, and it's very satisfying. You know, like nothing's ever going to be in National Geographic, but I like getting that intimacy with the things that live at my home. Anyhow, I'm out of footage to talk over now, so I guess it's time to go, and I will see you in another video soon. Thanks for listening to me and sticking with me. I would love to know what you've been working on creatively, and yeah, I don't know. I just want to hear how you're doing. What's growing where you are? What's happening in the beautiful outdoors where you are? What is spring like where you are? What kind of butterflies are you seeing? Okay, I'm done rambling. I love you. I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, also, I think I'm supposed to ask you to like and subscribe if you like the video and you want to see more from me. So that would be super cool of you. You don't have to, but it would be really cool of you. So, okay, bye for real.